All right, everybody. What's going on? It's your man DJ Swamp Thing. This is another episode of What's Your Hustler podcast, where we are bridging the gap between the artistic world and business professional world. I am so gracious to have Marva B on the line with me. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hey, good evening. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So listen, we're gonna get right to it. Let everybody know what's your hustle.
Yeah, so I am Marva B. I am the CEO and founder of BlackLink magazine. We are a global publication. We're national, but we got our foot a little bit internationally. So we are definitely national, and we focus on entertainment, entrepreneurship, our culture, and we are across the U.S. in stores, on shelves, Books a Million stores, Penn News Station, the largest magazine company in Manhattan, New York. That's BlackLink magazine.
Let's go. Let's go. Glad to hear it. Well, look, first of all, congratulations on everything that has happened with BlackLink magazine thus far. I know you have to be proud.
I am so blessed that we have come as far as we have. It is so unexpected, but God has a plan for us, and so here we
Absolutely.
are.
Absolutely. So how did this all begin? Give us a little backstory on how the magazine even started.
Yeah, so I've never wanted to create a magazine or had that idea or anything. So I do have a YouTube channel that was doing really well. And I was also just doing personal interviews locally in my hometown. And so COVID happened. We were
Yeah.
stuck in the house.
Yeah.
And then also during that time, the George Floyd murder also
Sure.
happened. And so I was thinking, what can I do to put our culture in the forefront in a good light, because we
Sure.
have put the stigma on us that we're angry Black women, uneducated Black men.
Sure.
What can I do? What's my little part? So I said I could create a magazine and put our people in the forefront to tell their struggles to success. Yet while we may have struggled, here we are, and we are successful, and we are educated and doing great things. And
Wow.
so
Wow.
the magazine was created.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Now, was BlackLink the name? Was that the title that you already had when you were doing the YouTube channel, or was that had to be created while creating the magazine?
Yeah, so let me tell you about that. So it
Okay.
was never BlackLink magazine. We started out, I had three names, and one of the names was Black Is. So I went to my family and I was like, okay, y'all, what should I do?
Yeah.
And the majority rather, said Black Is. So it started out being Black Is magazine. So we
Mm.
were trucking along, and something happened that we had to make sure that the Black Is was our name. We didn't do our
Right.
due diligence on that
Right.
part.
Right.
And come to find out, there was another Black Is magazine that was thriving. We was like, oh my God. So you're talking about rebranding and repurposing. We had to do logos over. We had to do a lot of stuff over.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I need a name. I need a name. And I came up with Black Link magazine. And the reason that I came up with that is because I wanted to link us all together. And we're just as strong as our weakest link. And
Sure.
so I thought, okay, Black Link magazine. And it worked. It's ours. We own it.
There
So
it is. Wow, that's interesting. Well, luckily, you guys weren't the magazine wasn't too far ahead with the Black Is before, you know what I mean, somebody come looking for y'all.
yeah, so we had actually put out two publications, and I was like, oh my goodness, oh my
Yeah.
goodness. So yeah,
Yeah.
I just thank God that we were early in the game, was able to step back, repurpose, and
Yeah.
rebrand.
Talk about the process for each magazine, because I know it can't be a easy, I'll use the word easy process, because there's different things on there. You have interview segments, and then there's pictures, there's maybe spotlights, there's a couple of things that go into one magazine. So can you draw kind of a, I don't want to say step by step because it might be a long process, but
Yeah. So pretty much you have to have a team. Now, mind you, we don't have the funds, like we didn't prepare for this,
Sure.
right? So
Sure.
what we did is I just started talking to people and networking, and I got in Clubhouse, and I was looking for create content creators to do just some freelance work, right? For writers,
Yeah.
graphics people. And as I was networking, a graphics guy came on, and he was like, I want to help you. And so he came on. Let me back up. My daughter and I are published authors. So we did a book, didn't know how to put a book together. We know how to write it. but we
Sure.
didn't know how to put it together. So my publisher, we got a publisher, we got it published. So she put the book together. I went back to her and I said, hey, have you ever done a magazine? She was like, no. I
Mm,
said, well, let's do it. She said, but we can do it. You can be my first. She did her due diligence. I did mine. We put it together and we created that together. I was the sole writer for our first magazine, first couple of magazines, but
sure.
I need writers because it's too long. The process is too
Yeah.
long. Because as you said, we have entertainment, we have fashion, we have movies, we have this, we have that.
Yeah.
So as I continue to network and people started hearing that buzz, BlackLink magazine, they start reaching out and say, hey, I'd like to be a writer. So we kind of, did some interviews with people, make
Sure.
sure it made sense for the magazine for them to write. And our writers now have been with us like since they've come. So we have about 7 writers now that do different things. It's a process. It's a long process to put a magazine together. So if I'm putting a magazine out in June, everything has to be done by April.
For
And
June.
that's because I have to have all the content together. We have to get it to graphics. Graphics has to do their thing. We have to edit it and then get it to the printers to print it out, to get it out to the distributors.
Wow.
So it's a process.
So, would you say you're what? You have to stay maybe 2 issues ahead, or maybe more?
Not necessarily. What we have to do is once we wrap on one and we get it out to the printer,
Time for the next thing.
we're
Got
starting on another one. And we only do quarterly, but that it never ends. It never stops. We're always working.
Right.
So in December, once we do the December one, we kind of get a little break between Christmas and New Year's, just a little
Okay.
bit. And back in February, the beginning of February, we're working again and we're preparing for our next publication.
Wow. Wow. So, in doing, because I know you do interviews via social media as well. Do those is that part of the magazine process? Like, do those people who are in doing that you're doing the interviews with, are they also part of the magazine as well, or is that are those 2 separate entities?
Yeah, so so it depends.
Okay.
So as I was networking, I got connected to John Blassingame, who is the media mogul, who is the magazine man. He's the man, right? So I got and he worked with Essence and Ebony and Jet and all those. So I got connected to him. And so what happens is we made a partnership. We got a partnership and he would bring me people. Prior to him, I would just have to hustle and get my own people. I got Bill Duke, Tamala Man. I got all just I don't know how I got them. I just started asking and they said yes. So
Wow.
I got those people. So it depends on how many pages we are, how many stories we're going to do, because also we have to have advertising in there, right? So not every person that we interview goes into the magazine, but if we reach out and said, hey, we want to interview you and give you a 2-page spread in the magazine, something like we did for you. You were in our magazine.
I was. I
We
was.
networked, we met, and we
Yeah.
did an interview. We put you in the magazine. So
Yeah.
something like that. But now that it's grown, it's like the covers are already sold. Like people are getting the covers way ahead before we even start preparing those magazines. So it just depends on who we're interviewing because we also have people lined up to be a part of that magazine.
Yeah, I want to back up just a tad because you mentioned a couple of names, and you've had the BlackLink magazine has had some pretty high profile names. How and you mentioned kind of just asking, maybe kind of shooting your shot, as the young folks would say. Explain to somebody who might be getting ready to do a magazine and might be struggling with who to ask, how to ask, especially with something that's new, right? What would you say to those folks who are in that position?
Right. And you have to realize that it's a numbers game, right? So
Yeah.
we didn't even really have the numbers at that time. We just started networking in Clubhouse, and that's how we built our numbers. But basically, it was a matter of it's a huge part of networking. So I got in a room, the music networking, no egos room, and there were some people that were already had people that they were connected to that were in high places that
Sure.
freely gave me the opportunities. And so for those people, like those A-listers, ABC listers,
Yeah.
some of those came from that room. Shout out to Nelson. He worked at a radio station, and anytime he had a high profile and there was someone getting ready, new movie was getting ready to come out, he would call and say, "Hey, you want this? You want this?" And absolutely, we wanted them because they
Mhm.
were celebrities and they were
Yeah.
household names. And so
Yeah.
we got it that way. And then as we started building with that, shout out to there's a lot of people we can shout out. Bob Sumner, who connected me to John Blasingame. As we started connecting, I started going out in the field to these red carpets and to these
Yeah.
events that they would graciously invite me to and network that way. So BlackLink magazine started making a name for themselves at that point. And so if I got into somebody's DM and said, "Hey, I'm Marva B, BlackLink magazine. This is how I found out how to connect with you. Would you be willing to do an interview with me and a spread in the magazine, maybe give you the cover?" I
Sure.
started having conversations and finding their emails. I went to their pages and found emails, and I would shoot them an email and they would say, "Reach out to my publicist." I would reach out to that
Right.
publicist. So, I mean, you got to do the footwork. It's not going to drop in your lap.
Right.
You got to do the footwork, but you got to be kind to people.
Yep.
You got to be really kind to people and
Yep.
respectful of people's privacies. When you
Yep.
get A, B, and C list celebrities, you can't be passing their information along. You can't
Right.
be calling them, even though you got their connection straight to them. There's a way to carry yourself, and I think just Bob Sumner said it. He said the reason that he said it at an event we had. The reason that I connected her is because the way she carried herself.
Yep.
So it's very important. It's very
Yeah.
important how you carry yourself and treat people.
I'm really glad you said that, Marva. I just had this conversation with one of my business partners this afternoon about people will entertain something you want them to be involved in if someone they respects you.
That's right. That's right.
We
Absolutely.
literally just, I mean, maybe 6 hours ago, we were just having this conversation.
It's a whole fact.
I mean, it's true, and you are absolutely right. You have to be able to know how to, treat people correct, how to be polite, how to use, some type of decorum when you're trying to connect people, because nobody has to do anything.
They didn't owe me nothing. And
Right.
he said, and when I spoke with John Blasingame, I said, "Bob Sumner sent me." And when he said, "If Bob sent you,
Yep.
then I know that you're good people."
There it is. There it is. Yeah, I get that sometimes too, and it's just amazing how wow, just first of all, you're grateful that that person is in good graces.
Yes, yes.
But,
And you have to humble yourself. You can't, "Oh,
yep,
I got this person and now
yep,
I'm off." No, you
yep,
humble yourself because that
yep,
could go away any moment.
yep,
It gets silent around here, but then it picks up again. So I'm
yep,
just humbled and grateful and thankful that people, because like you said, no one owes me a thing,
yeah.
and just freely didn't ask me. Those A-listers, they didn't charge me for a photo shoot to be on the covers. None of that. I've been blessed. I've been blessed.
That's great. So where is Black Link in the next couple of years? Because you guys obviously have accomplished so much already, but I know that's not the end of the road. So what is it that you're really looking to accomplish? Let's just say it this year, now that it's a new year.
Yeah. So this year, what we're doing is we're really focusing on getting some big name ads,
Sure.
some global advertisements. And it's very hard to get advertisers because of social media, right? It's
Yeah.
all social media, they can do that. But
Yeah.
we're doing some really strong marketing. And we're also looking at bigger red carpets. So the Essence Festival. We're looking to be there. We're looking to be on the BET carpet somehow, some way. We have connections. We just got to work it and make those connections. Because the more you are seen, the more people trust you, the bigger names you can get.
Yeah.
And so we're focusing on that. We're also adding to BlackLink magazine a youth and a young adult digital magazine
That's
publication.
awesome.
Going to drop in April. So it's all focused on child entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
young adults, whatever their successes are, we want to
Wow.
put it out in the forefront. They'll still be able to get a hard copy, but we're just gonna focus on digital for them
Sure.
and just put those children out in the forefront because they are our next generation. So we're adding them to that as well.
Yeah.
We're looking at some partnerships. Just whatever God has for us, we always tap into our higher power to see what's next, but we do have some goals we're trying to reach and we're trying to get there. We're also what's new is I prepared a ebook
Okay.
around how to create a magazine, what the process is, how to get those interviews. So I'll have that coming out like within the next we're about 4 weeks out. And then I'll also be doing some Zoom classes where people don't really want to read. They want to talk about it, ask you questions at that time. We'll be
Yep.
doing that.
So I think that's wonderful. You're right in the line of some of these conversations I've been having this week. It's almost scary, but you have to, when you're in positions like you are with the magazine and others, you cannot not share the knowledge. There is somebody
That's
that
right.
is in a position that you once were with the magazine that
Absolutely.
might not have the type of education or the knowledge or the know-how or the what is the name of the app we just talked about where you get on and those kind of apps to network, right?
Uh-huh.
Might not have that
Right.
and struggling trying to figure out how to make a name for themselves in that type of media. So for you to be able to share that and others that I know, I'm so blessed to know some people, a lot of people who are have that same mindset, to be able to share. I think that's wonderful, and congratulations on the youth part as well. That's awesome because we got some talented young folks out here.
We already got our cover for out of Dallas, Texas. The two little their brothers, Boss brothers, are going to be our cover. Oh my gosh, you just
Crazy.
won't. It's just unimaginable.
Yeah,
But I believe in sharing knowledge. Somebody had to teach me. Like I didn't know anything about a magazine. Yeah, I did my education, but I needed people to help me,
yeah,
and they really helped me. So I'm like. I want to give whatever I have because I'm not going to always be here. I'm going to go on to be doing other things. Why not share?
yeah,
Because it's room enough for us all. That's just what I believe.
yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome. So it kind of answered my question already, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. What are you saying personally to someone who's, whether it's a male or female, who's knocking at your door and saying, "I want to learn how to do this"? What are you telling folks?
I'm telling them to do their due diligence and don't give up. People told me just here in my hometown, a magazine that is so ancient. Why are you
Mm-hmm.
doing that? And then they had to come back and say, "Whoa!"
Mm-hmm.
Like so
Mm-hmm.
do not let, and that just motivated me the more even
Mm-hmm.
more, right?
Yeah,
But don't
yeah,
let someone, the naysayers, get a hold of you and convince you that it won't work. If that's something that's burning inside you, you have a passion for it and you love it, don't ever quit. And don't think that we haven't had hard times. And in those hard times, I probably shed some tears. I probably wanted to give up. But at the end of the day, it was all worth it. We figured out what we needed to learn in that moment. We learned it and we kept pushing. So keep going. Find those people, surround yourself with those people that want to share knowledge, that have already done it, has
yep,
already done what you're trying to do.
yep,
Let them help you avoid the downfalls that we had to experience because we didn't know.
yep,
If I can save somebody from going through what I've gone through, why not?
yep,
So keep going. Do not let the naysayers sway you and deter your fire, your motivation for it.
yep. Awesome. That's great. How can anyone get in touch with you, or how can they get in contact? Not in contact, but how can they read or get a copy of the magazine?
Absolutely. So we are at you can go to the magazine cafe. It's the magazine the magazine cafe
Gotcha.
store.com, and you have to kind of search on that site for BlackLink magazine. Just keep going. You'll get to it, and we're working with them on that. But the magazine cafe store.com, you can get magazine. You can also go to blacklinkmag.com, and on the sidebar you can click on in either one of the publications. It'll take you right to where you can order the magazine. At blacklinkmag.com, which is our website, you can subscribe to us, send us an email, let us know you want a subscription. And the ebook will be out there as well. And you'll have information. We're getting loading information of how you can join our classes when we begin those as well. Blacklinkmag.com. Follow us at BlackLink Magazine on Instagram. Our YouTube channel is the BlackLink Experience. You can see all of the interviews that we've
Yeah,
had the
yeah,
last 2 or 3 years that are
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Last question: If do you are there ever people who approach the magazine to be featured versus you looking out? Yeah,
Yes. So in the beginning, I was searching, right, for
of
people
course.
before I even connected with Mr. Blassingame and Bob Sumner and Jackie and
Sure,
Bots and all those people.
sure.
It's like, you want to be in the magazine? You want to be in the magazine? You want, just trying to build
Yeah.
just a full magazine, right?
Yeah.
Now, my emails and my phone ring off the hook, which is, I told you, a lot of people love the cover of the magazine, but those covers before the next year come are sold up. So you really got to be doing
Right.
your due diligence, emailing or contacting my assistant, Jada, and letting her know I'm in line next. I want to be in line. But yes,
Yeah.
now they're coming to me. In the beginning, I had to do my due diligence.
Yeah. Marva B, you know what I'm gonna just say? I was trying to hold on to it. Auntie Marva, thank you. Listen,
I couldn't
you.
wait. I couldn't wait.
I'm really fortunate to be able to watch the magazine grow. I've been fortunate enough to be able to contact you, which I don't take lightly. Every time I contact you about somebody else, I always tread lightly because, like we said earlier, I want to make sure that it's making sense for me to even approach you with somebody else, just out of respect, and it's business, just out of good business, but you have always been gracious. I really do feel like a nephew. So,
Well,
thank you.
I feel the same. I feel the same. Thank you too, nephew. Listen, it doesn't even seem like 2 years ago. It seemed like we just met yesterday. Well, it seemed like we've been knowing each other forever.
I know.
That's the relationship that we've built. I love you and I appreciate all that you do. Thank you for the connections. If I have anything, I'll send your way. But yeah, it's just amazing having people surrounding you that are like-minded. And I feel like we're like-minded when it
Yep.
comes to business.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there it is for another episode of What's Your Hustle. Make sure that you go on Instagram and follow at Always Working Radio, because What's Your Hustle is powered by Always Working Radio. And of course, you can check out the station on Online Radio Box. The link is in the bio. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel here, What's Your Hustle, and we will see you next time. Marva B, thank you again, Auntie.
Thank you.